Let me make the point in a different way. Somebody tell me, I guess I just thought I didn't have a chance to Google this during the break. When were the Olympics in Atlanta? Was that 86 or 96? It's not really that important. It's just a point of curiosity for me. Whenever it was, do you remember the name? It was 96. Remember the name Richard Jewell? Right. Why do you remember the name Richard Jewell? What happened to Richard Jewell? There was a terrorist bomb that went off in a public area in Atlanta where a lot of visitors and fans of the Olympics in Atlanta were congregated. There was a terrorist bomb. NBC News ran a story identifying an employee of the Olympics, Richard Jewell, as the guilty bomber. They said they had sources, they had evidence, and so forth. Richard Jewell had nothing to do. Oh, you know what he was? He was a wannabe cop. Richard Jewell, he wasn't going to be able to pass the physical requirements, but he loved law enforcement. So he was a part-time, I think, security hire or guard. Some way, had something to do with secondary, tertiary law enforcement. They literally destroyed this man's reputation. NBC News. They weren't embarrassed by it. I mean, it was... Now, I know it was a matter of litigations and they couldn't publicly apologize, but they weren't going to admit any guilt here because that would have meant even a bigger settlement or what have you. It took years for Richard Jewell to exonerate because they say, when you ask me if these people get embarrassed over what they do, no, they don't. It's particularly, that was not even an ideological thing. If Richard Jewell had been a Republican running for office in Atlanta, it would have been even worse. But there's these NBC staffers, I mean, yeah, they may be, who knows, really embarrassed. Behind the scenes people, the ones really bust their butts trying to get noticed and advanced, and they do want their work to be considered straightforward. Look at the Trayvon Martin, what was the white Hispanic, what was his name? George Zimmerman, look at a 911 call. Somebody at NBC Miami literally edited the 911 call to make it look like Zimmerman was a flat-out racist, and that's why he did what he did. When it was exposed as a totally fraudulent, purposefully done edit to malign and impugn, was there any apology? Was there any expressed regret? No. The anger was they didn't get away with it. The anger was they got caught. They're agenda-driven, Mr. Snerdley, and they're never going to apologize for that, even when they make the mistake of exposing it. They're just not. They're not embarrassed of what they do.